Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Mad Studios Open Mic at That Place. We're going to go ahead and kick off a little bit here, and our first poet to come up to the stage is going to be Lori with an E. So let's give it up for Lori.
Is that okay? I love dogs. I'd like cats too, but we're all allergic to them, so we can't have them. But we've had pets, a million of them have come and gone from our lives, and we've picked them up off the street, and we got them from the pound, and we got them from rescue places, and they stayed with us, until they finally passed on. So this one in particular is about a very special dog that we got from a rescue. It says, "Who says dogs don't fly?" We found you in a lonely rescue. You walked over with delightful brown eyes, then leaned your muscular body in. You needed a home, so we gave you one. Always at the door when someone rang. Felt most complete chasing lizards and squirrels. And never did you complain when you had to stay inside. Every time you slept, you snored like thunder. Who says dogs don't fly? They soar into the heart with just a lick. Swoop up the emotion you didn't know you had, and you share your affection with a blink of the eye. Now the days are different. Sleep a little more. You can still lay your head in your favorite man's lap, looking at me and pleading, "Let me stay." So I do, and will, into the new life. And when the time comes and your energy is worn, you will be in our arms forevermore. Till the brightest heavenly skies open up, we will be there to see you fly. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to write. This one's a really angry one. And since there's no children, I can do it. It's called Freedom. Yeah. Okay, it's better. I know you are. That's okay. Freedom. Rita, you are the most uncaring bitch I have ever known. You, on purpose, worked to destroy me with the truest intent and all your might. You deserve nothing on heaven or earth. I hope you end up in hell. Hey, you already created an incredibly screwed up life. You killed your wonderful mother by smoking around her, smoking while she was eating every meal. You did that to me when I was out there every day, even though I asked you to please wait until I finished. And what did you do? You looked at me and lit up, puffing away without a care for me. You lowlife. You scum of the earth, worthless piece of garbage. No wonder men wouldn't stay married to you. Now I know. Oh, I know so much. I thought all these past 55 years that you were my best friend, while you were, in reality, my worst enemy. As teenagers, you pulled out every stop to humiliate me in front of all our friends, sent me on wild goose chases, and got me in trouble with my parents, but that's okay. I have my mom and dad's love forever. Your poor parents just wiped their hands from you. You were nothing but trouble. I'm here to tell the world what a messed up person you truly are. God knows what you have done. He follows you everywhere you go. He writes in his book, no, that makes Make that he knows you by heart and knows where he is going to send you when you pass on. You deserve what God has in plans for you. Ravenous Rita, you whore of manipulation, I've made a pact with myself that you, at this point, no longer exist in my heart. No longer will you torture me with your cruel intentions of hurt and make me break down and cry. May you have what you deserve. No love, no family, and no life existence. May you end up homeless, friendless, and penniless. I will no longer cry because of you. I am rejoicing in my freedom that seems like forever to come to fruition, and I share that with my family and my friends. I erase you from my past, present, and future. Goodbye forever, you monster.
Let's give it up again for Lori. Next up on our list is our wonderful Carrie over here. Going to give us a little taste of her poetry this time. So let's give it up for Carrie.
Hello, everybody. Following up with Lori, if you can give me just a second, I use Penzu, the Penzu app for my poetry, and I have 3 journals. One is just basically journal entries, and then I have working poems, and then I have completed poems. And this is one that's going to be really scary for me to read because I wasn't planning on reading it tonight. But Lori just read about anger, and this was one that I wrote February 20th, 2015. So it's been a little over a year ago. It's before I met anybody in here. And this had to do with a situation after I got divorced. And I met somebody that I had known as a teenager, and I thought that they were there to comfort me through that situation. And it didn't turn out quite the way I thought. So I'm going to read this, but again, it has not been edited for poetry. It was something I actually just put in my journal. And it's called You Raped Me. You raped me. Let me first be clear. I don't mean in the worldly sense people commonly know of the term, but emotionally, through the depths of my soul and every corner of my mind. I see the date at the top of this, and it reads 23, February 2015. I last heard your voice on 2 October 2014. We last were together the night after my birthday, 9 August 2014. I came to know you 9 May 2014. It's funny. I was married for 17 years, and some of those years I would have to take a moment to recollect my husband's birthday or even our wedding date. Sometimes I would have to tally the years to figure my age. But why? Why do I remember those dates with someone I only spent 4 short, intermittent months with so well? Because you raped me. Either that or you've been right all this time and I'm crazy. That's why I don't talk to anyone. I'm here in this very moment. Fast forward 4.5 months. Longer than we even spent with each other, and I'm in my car, pulled over on the side of the road, once again having to stop the tears that flow from the pain that chokes me. The pain of wondering what the hell exactly happened. The aching of trying to figure it out. Why? Why did you do this to me? I was unbearably honest, and I cried to you. I told you how I felt, and that I didn't understand my feelings and begged you to help me to understand. Then, when there was not an ounce of emotion from the voice on the other end of the phone, or when you wouldn't help me, I would beg you to leave me out of sheer frustration. It was maddening, but you wouldn't. You stayed. You would make me believe you wanted to stay with sweet subtleties and passionate longings for me. and then you would rape me. When I discovered her, I became enraged because you had lied. I had asked only one thing of you. I had never asked for commitment, only for your friendship during this dark hour of mine, and that one promise. Just to please tell me if you were giving yourself to anyone else. For I did not want to share myself with someone who was sharing themselves with others. I had only been with one man for almost 20 years, and when I came to you, I was frightened but confused and curious. I told you I would fall if it happened, and I did, passionately. I remember that night. I was shaking, and I even cried after because I couldn't understand how someone married could perform such an act. I felt guilty, even though my husband had done it to me, and in spite of being separated. You calmed me, held me, and said it would all be okay, but it isn't. And I'm here, shattered, alone, broken, scared, and now used, crumpled up all on the floor, frightened to ever even love again. You are with her, and you are in love. You won't even speak or acknowledge me now. I've asked for forgiveness. I don't know why. I guess for the crazy way I acted. Because you tell people I'm crazy, obsessed, and unstable. I guess I acted so. But I'm nothing but a stranger now. I'm not even a memory for you. I'm just forgotten, abandoned. All your words have been swept away with the wind, and that's what kills me. Did you really say all those lovely things to me to solely satisfy yourself? I can't even fathom the cruelty of it all. The way you entered my life that season of summer and left when it faded away with the awakening of autumn. I just don't know when I will be whole, able to love or even make love with someone again. I do know that I think of the whole situation often, but I don't get mad anymore, just a little sick. I think of us making love and the way you asked me to look into your eyes as you told me how beautiful I was. I'm glad I never did, because now I know you were just raping me.
Let's give it up again for Carrie. We're just going to get deep tonight. All right. Oh, that was beautiful. Just beautiful. Okay, so now that we've reached deep down in and pulled out some of the darkness, we're going to give it up for Skylar and some of his literary stylings for us. So let's give it up.
Hey y'all doing all right? Everybody's looking good. If everybody's feeling good, let the congregation say amen. All right. My name is Skylar Andrews, and I write stories, and I usually have prepared truncated versions of pieces that I'm working on, and I'm going to do this the ghetto way and read from my phone. Okay. This is a piece that I wrote a while back, and I've read a few times here, but thank God, it seems like I don't know anybody here tonight, so it's new to y'all. This piece is called The Son of Adam Remembers. The creature scratched up his throat, gathered bile and spit up through a dark sky at his creator. Thunder hadn't rolled till then. A cursed paw depressed the dirt. Then another. Then another. And then another for millions of years until it finally stood up straight, stiffened its haunches and spine, produced the angle at which to keep its eyes to the heavens, and realized what it had done. and then it fell. Fast forward several eons long after this now bipedal beast, slogging through remorse, pulled at his brain and throat to construct symbols and language and the concept of negation, and then fashioned myths and tales as theories to help remember the mysterious catastrophe of his guilt. A slender, brown-skinned fellow in a suit that would have been considered elegant a generation or two earlier is walking along a sidewalk, maintaining a stride to outrun a heavy and lukewarm tingle chaining his veins. The cigarette is helping a little. He shivers and cradles his elbows. He tries to forget his own name. Maybe if he did, God would too. He sees the place he's looking for, Benny's convenience store, across the street. The sky is graying quickly. He doesn't believe he's arrived so fast. He paces 8 paces, then again in the opposite direction, turns his back to the convenience store, doesn't pray as much as he wants to, because he knows better. Barely unfolding his arms, he slips a hand into his creased jacket, procures a fading brown stocking, and slips it on his head. He resumes his forceful stride, again outrunning himself. His hands fold as he strides. He does not pull out the .32 until he's standing before the cashier. She's brown and freckled and big-eyed, and only her bottom lip quivers. He swears at her loudly and shudders like he's cursed God at the judgment. Her name is Denise, he remembers later. He doesn't even remember glancing at her name tag. 5 minutes, was it? He doesn't try to calculate. He doesn't want to. The storm is fully grown by the time he flees. He now has $1,500. That is enough for now, enough to keep them at bay. He flops his head to his bed and shakes enough to dry heave, and then dares to wonder why. Said slender fellow in generations-old suit strides along another sidewalk after the storm is gone. The cigarette helps. Until a ragged creature gnarled as ages and smelling just as strongly accosts him with crooked eyes and crooked, crusted, cupped hands. "I ain't got nothing, man," he says to him. When the slender fellow resumes his stride, it's heavier this time. He walks past the vagrant and his eyes, and the trembling strikes him again. A day passes. His heart floats, preparing to rendezvous with those to whom he is indebted. When he lies down, it burns worse, as he remembers why he ever trembled to begin with. Another day passes, and he, in darkness, stands before a pagan tribunal of large men in suits more recently tailored and elegant than his own. He is disciplined and set free, the most expensive black eye and impromptu dental work he has ever had. Fast forward 7 days, different suit, not much nicer. His mindless, nicotine-powered stride conveys him back to Benny's convenience store. He curses his heart for what comes over him and the ensuing thunder. When he enters out of the rain, he is wisely sans stocking and gun. He buys a pack of Newports and some juicy fruits and a can of Slice. He smiles at Denise and her eyes that dart from his. He calls her pretty, and he means it. She doesn't respond. He pays in a 20, asks her to keep it provided she let him take her out to dinner. She scoffs. He says to keep it anyway and smiles his way back to the rain. 2 days, another suit, not much nicer, but it's pressed this time. No response again. The third time, 2 more days later, he gets a smile, a hint of a smile. 2 more times, a chuckle and a, "Where you trying to go?" "I'm just trying not to go to hell." He doesn't say that, but that's what he meant. He takes her to a Thriller and buys her popcorn and butter and a Sprite. They play pool and drink Budweisers and make love and laugh and share cigarettes and secrets. Not all of them, of course. Thunder does not roll again for 2 weeks. The fellow with the suits, the robber, the son of four-pawed Adam, does not tremble again until then. Maybe it wasn't karma or God. Maybe it was just me, he said as he bled to himself. Maybe that's what came over me when my heart fluttered at her smile and stopped shaking before her, even when she sniffed her way to my closet and saw in a heap, stinking like my delayed repentance, the suit that was elegant a generation or two ago. The bullet in his thigh didn't displace him, the heartache after she left, or the noise of the storm outside. But the cigarette helped. Can I read one more? Can I read one more? I got one. Okay. Right on. Okay. This one is called Prime Meridian. This one is totally unfinished, but I like the way it reads. This is most of my stories are what I call Bible Belt noir. It's kind of like these Southern Gothic / neo noir, relatively Christ haunted crime stories, and you know how there's like these movies, there'll be these gangster movies where somebody, like the main character owes money to a mobster, and the whole movie is about, oh my God, how am I going to get money? How am I going to get the money to this mobster, or they're going to kill me? And I always watch these movies, and you know, what always ends up happening is somehow they get the money, and the mobster, being the bad guy, ends up, you know, getting his comeuppance. And I'm like, why don't they just start the movie off with the guy saying, I'm not going to pay you your money, I'm just going to come after you? I always thought that would be a more fun way to go about a story like that. So this is the beginning of a story like that. It's called Prime Meridian. The lumps came easy, and the sore did too. Quick and red. Murphy awoke minutes later with slow muscles and his throat and stomach slick. He crept his eyelids apart and wiggled slothfully and let his jaw melt into a weird, weary grin, his whole rib cage raw and stuffed with pride that he could take his ass whooping like a man. Hardy didn't care for that. Hardy said, "Get up." Instead of laughing from the depths of his bowels, Murphy elected to catch his breath, stretch out, painful as it was, and carefully cup the back of his head. Hardy stomped on his sore ribs and said, "Get up," again. Murphy spit, except it came out as several coughs, and slithered to his knees. "Now you know why you got this," Hardy said. "On account of the extensive generosity of your lovely mother last night, I would be inclined to presume," said Murphy. Hardy crouched and slapped Murphy's right cheek with curved knuckles and stomped his ribs again in one unended move. Murphy lay flat again and said, "Of course. You would not have known about that, but I'm sure you'd be happy to send up my humble gratitude nonetheless." Hardy gobbled up a chuckle and a punch and wagged his finger. "You have overstepped your bounds, Mr. Murphy, and you'll reap what you've sown if there's a God in heaven." "If God sits on the throne, brother, I reckon we shall both reap." Hardy sighed, a sigh so heavy that Murphy felt it as hard as every blow. "You have till Tuesday to make your peace, and that's Tuesday morning," said Hardy. "Elsewise, this won't end here." Murphy didn't see him walk away, and he wished he hadn't waited to laugh until then. This was Thursday. Murphy did not begin to lament his negligible aptitude at spades and other games of chance until Saturday. "Maybe I ought to learn to just play better," he lamented to his friend Richmond on Saturday night behind the Red Slade Club. Lamented, not regretted. Richmond licked at his silver tooth and said, "Well, cheating took you this far." And Murphy smiled because he was right. Cheating had also gotten Smithy Carter shot and on the way to the morgue a few nights ago at St. James. His father was Brigham Carter, who was not the forgiving sort, and neither were Quick Kinham or Casper the Ghost, nor Arlen Davis, who ran the crap games. Murphy got up and kept on smoking, bereft of a heavy heart because he knew money covered a multitude of sins, thence the lumps and the lash. When Saturday came, Murphy did not praise at the morning. He nursed his hangover by massaging his chest. The soreness was still there, but so was the pride. Murphy smiled at the strange woman knocked out next to him because he knew better. He noted then, when Brigham Carter sent Hardy to knock some more sense into him, he made no mention of the monetary recompense for the death of his son. Such was expected for all business that was personal. The message, being one with its manifestations, precedes it. Tuesday morning. Hardy pounded at Murphy's door, whilst Murphy, clad like Gawain's armor in a silvery sharkskin suit, blew a gale of grayest smoke into Arlen Davis's face at his own gambling house and slammed 15 stacks times 2 without batting an eye, as if his own personal eschaton weren't waiting for him back at the house. Once upon a time, Murphy would have called himself a praying man, and he liked to recall this and tell people so. "I'm a betting man now," he liked to say. "You'll see that it is likewise you contemplated long enough." When he would say this, or something like this, it would usually be at a ragged and worn table littered with towers of change or chips patterned with cards and cash, and he would be brandishing a cigar from his lips. He would find a player among the circle and look into his eyes amid making one point. It is likewise a leap of faith. An abyss lies before you, and all you have to carry you as you hurl yourself into that big black void is a vision, a revelation of the world as you would have it, or as it ought to be, rather. In this case, the vision being of a world in which I have been graced with $2,000 more than I had before, because existence is rendered untenable and meaningless otherwise. And then he would carry his eyes around the circle and engage another player for another point. A fine bet made is the quintessential act of righteous devotion toward the Most High, who or whatever lies behind or underneath this storm of time and chance and being. And then another. It is an action, not merely speech, comprised of and fueled by elements that push and pull at the will: desire, desperation, suffering, hope, of course, perhaps even love. And then another. It is an action that pushes the bettor towards union with his hope's fulfillment, thrown at the mercy, most would say of fate, but I would say of God herself. Every gambler is an aspiring Abraham waiting on his lamb and his scattered seed to follow. He would be surrounded by rocky, bloodless poker faces who, save for lilting eyelids, seemed to shrug off his pontifications. He reckoned, and probably rightly, that it was all a distraction to draw them into loosening their stance, make their faces easier to read. He saw into their hearts through their eyes, and he smiled at this, which he knew he ought not to do, hence his cigar for comfort. He did not make this speech on Tuesday night. He just let himself smile. 11:45 anti-meridian. What was earned by blood for the wicked was paid to what might as well have been the just. Murphy shuffled his cards in contemplation, as if praying to logic and logos for the power to outrun both chance and skill. And then he decided, like St. Augustine, not yet. 11:45, prime meridian. Money covers a multitude of sins, and only blood can atone for blood. Murphy sucked at a cigar and slammed down his last card with a grin that could eat whole worlds and souls along with shit. Tipped his hat, gathered his chips, and left Arlen Davis's gambling house with peace in his heart and the blood on his hands cleansed with more blood, the cold blood of the father, set free from colder veins by greedy bullets, by way of some labyrinthine game theory atoning for more or less innocent blood of the son. And Mr. Murphy smiled, and it ended there. Thank you.
Always a mesmerizing performance when Skylar comes in here. Yeah. So, we're going to bring Lori with an E back up here and hear some more of her wonderful poetry. Let's hear it for Lori.
I don't know about you, but I did grow up near a train track, and I live over in Grovetown now, and I can hear the train track. Every time I hear it, it reminds me of when I was a child, and things would rattle in the house as the train was going by. So the name of the song is called The Long Train. Hush streets line the city tonight. Sleepiness lays upon the realm. Misty ether veils the open spaces, hugging lamp posts and quiet conversations. Nothing's rushed, but beyond the edge of town, the slow rumbling train approaches. Wooden tracks support that nightly run. Old locomotive travels slowly onward. The long train rides right by my door. I hear her chorus in the late hours. I feel her motion sway from side to side. It's the long train, this train of mine. Her burdens lay within her walls as she cries out her warning of danger. Her comfort is cool steel beneath the body, guiding her way through the dark night. These quiet dwellings connect every evening with the crossing of the train going by. She never misleads any poor soul as she passes through unfettered. It's the long train, this train of mine. If I can get this apart, I'll see what it is. This one's called There's a Light at the End of the Tunnel. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. It sparkles, glimmers, and shines. It's the past, the present, and future, and this passageway is mine. To behold this light in the distance, I am in awe and wonder. What will I do when this radiance comes to hit me like thunder? There's a light at the end of the tunnel. It tosses my mind to and fro. Should I step back, take another glance, or should I just go? I'm afraid of its possession. The effect on my breast is strong. As I stand akimbo in the bright light, is this sensation right or wrong? This light at the end of the tunnel has taken my intellect for a ride. It's not that I don't understand, it's just that I would rather hide. There are things that have sound substance and events I'd rather not think about. There are occasions of simple celebrations where I can finally shout out. The light at the end of this tunnel somehow is calling me. Minute by minute, I experience the pull. Soon I shall be free. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. And we're going to get Carrie back up here for another poem of hers. So let's hear it for Carrie.
I've been wanting to read this one for about 3 weeks, but there've been children in here. And I just want to make sure that everybody's okay with the S word. Any objections? No. Okay. This is something that I wrote that is actually positive to me because it's about taking tribulations in life, ugly tribulations in life, and seeing them as a learning experience and something to grow from. So this is a poem about manure. It's called Take the Shit and Grow. Take the shit over life you've been dealt, joyfully and reflectively, most zealously, in childlike naivety. Plant yourself weakened, deep within its warmth, anxiously and futilely, most willfully for self-preservation. Understand the time it will take to disdain its foulness and darkness, most consuming circumstances. Secure your root beneath the surface, because shit eventually and simply, most certainly, decomposes. And you, my darling, will soon flower upward to sun solacing, intricately and profoundly, most vividly blooming. We are born and exist intertwined in symbiosis with shit, inescapably and needingly, most necessarily, to firmly plant our root.
I needed more there. All right, we're going to hear some music from Matt over here. So we'll get him up here and let him hear some music.
I know, I timed that perfectly. John, you think I could borrow that stool again?
Yeah, if you want to grab it.
Yeah, I'll get it, that's fine.
It's right under the...
I keep forgetting to put a strap on it.
We are unplugged for the car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody's leaving. Am I that bad?
No, it's...
I'm just kidding.
We had a noise complaint.
You had a noise complaint?
Yeah.
From who?
Our neighbor.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, well, you know, we roll with the punches.
We roll with it. That's the song I was gonna do. I hear that train a comin'. It's coming around the bend. And if you don't give me your wallet, your life will end. No, that's just. I'm gonna do one. I'll do an original. This is called "Be Warm and Fed." I've done it out a couple times now. I just wrote it not too long ago, but it's about. I think it's in the book of James, where he says, like, you know, be warm and fed. Just like, kind of like, don't bother me because, you know, you're dirty and homeless, and I don't have time for that. So I took a little poke at some Christians, I guess, that kind of have the same attitude. So if there are any of you here, then I don't apologize for the song. Okay. Kind of like Take That Shit, right? We'll have to write a song sometime. Be warm and fed, my friend. Just can't tell you how. But I got a meeting at the church today, and I should have been there now. I got 5 cars, a condo, and a mansion on the hill. I don't know where you sleep tonight, but I'm sure you somehow will. Oh, be warm and fed, my friend. Be warm and fed. Be warm and fed, my friend. Be warm and fed. sound like Bob Dylan night. My wife is a prayer warrior. She prays every night and day. She loves to pray at the homeless, the disabled, and the gay. She loves to do the club and goes to the club to eat and drink and swing with tennis pro. Tells me she is faithful, but Lord, I just don't know. Oh, be warm and fed, my friend. Be warm and fed. Be warm and fed, my friend. Be warm and fed. We are hardcore conservatives. We vote for the right party. We ain't worried about the very poor. They get a safety net for free. And we love the church and Jesus Christ, but we love our money and more. But we don't like Mary the Magdalene, 'cause she heard she was a whore. Oh, be warm and fed, my friend. Be warm and fed. Be warm and fed, my friend. Be warm and fed. Oh, that was pretty bad, but thank you anyway. I need to warm up before I sing. Maybe I should do a Bob Dylan song, huh? Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. Let's see. I wrote a silly song, but after messing that up, I'm afraid to do it. It's called My Vasectomy, but it would be a good crowd to do it, wouldn't it? Because there's no kids here. I'm going to do something different because I'm not ready to do that yet. I don't know it well enough. I'll do a sort of a Christian Baroque rock song here, okay? Jesus, Lamb of God, holy is your holy name. Jesus, Son of Man, tell me, Jesus, what is your plan for me? I was dying in my sin. Now I'm dying to let you in. I was lost, now I'm found, and I've come to love having you around, saying, Jesus, Lamb of God, holy is your holy name. Jesus, Son of Man, tell me, Jesus, what is your plan for me? I saw you coming down the hill, and I said, hey, Jesus, heal me if you will. I'm not worthy, I said, Lord, why me? And you said, that's okay, son, I'm here to set you free. Jesus, oh Son of Man, tell me, Jesus, what is your plan? Jesus, Lamb of God, holy is your holy name. Okay, thank you.